find me. Troubleshoot for find me. All right, I would like to start this ceremony by the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we could all face the flag, and I'll lead you in. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It's a great turnout for a great event. And I'm proud to see so many people that come out for this, because I'm sure many of you have busy days, including some of the important people up here by my side. They took time out of their busy day to come here. More importantly, they helped make this a reality, an attainable goal. So what you see before you is less a reflection on my accomplishments and really more a reflection on the people you see here. They made this happen. So I'd like to acknowledge some of the people. I'd like to start with His Honor, the Mayor of Fall River, Jazel Correa. Senator Mike Rodrigues. Representative Alan Sylvia. Representative Paul Schmidt, who I want everybody to notice, and this is why I admire him so much. He's the only guy I know who can polish a pair of work boots. Look at that. It's amazing.
You're the best, Chief. I'll show you how someday.
Unfortunately, Carol Fayola, who normally comes to these events, could not be here. She had a prior commitment, but she's represented by Paula, her assistant. Thank you, Paula. We have a very dear friend of the fire department for many years also, City Councilor Leo Pelletier. We have Rick Ballou, Fire Commissioner. President Burns, where are you? President Burns. I have to say this because this ceremony couldn't have happened without President Burns' input. Because a year and a half ago, when we were putting Engine 9 in service, he came to me, he said, Chief, how about we do something special? Not like they did years ago. When you got a new truck, they backed it in, you threw all the equipment on it, and you were good to go. He said, this is a special moment for the fire department. It's the start of a new era where we're going to get out of the dark ages. We're going to replace the apparatus. We're going to fix the stations. We're going to increase our manpower. We're getting new equipment. We're getting gears and washers. We're worried about the men. We're going to take care of things. So let's do something so the public can see how important this is. And we both agree that nothing could have happened, again, without these men behind us. It's a partnership between the fire department, the administration, the city councilors, and the state delegates, and the neighborhood associations. So if I repeat that over and over, it's because it's so important to me. I'd like to acknowledge that there's some retirees from Ladder 2. If there's some out there that I forget, please raise your hand. I did see Frankie Mouse Marks. Where are you, Frankie? We have Kenny Towers. Kenny, raise your hand. Any other retirees from Ladder 2? And Teddy Breck. Well, I always think he was Engine 4. All right. Sorry, Ted. It's good. I can acknowledge Bob Taylor, Captain of Engine 5, who I haven't seen in a while. Bob's been retired for quite a while now, but it's good working with him. There are many other retirees out there. It seems like every ceremony we have, it gets thicker and thicker, and that's good, because that's what the fire department is about. It's about a tradition. There's a line that runs from the old guys through the older guys into the new guys, because we never forget. We never forget the service of what we have done and what you retirees did before us. And that's important, because tradition is the rock of the fire department. So I'd like to acknowledge all retirees without calling each one up, because we'll be here all day. I'd like to acknowledge the firefighters, the EMS, and the special service personnel who showed up today. Thank you very much. And just as important, the citizens and neighborhood associations who are here also, because your support really got us here also. The public is always behind us, and we need the public. We're here to serve the public because we want to, because it's our job, and because they love the city of Fall River just as much as we do. So thank you all for showing up on your busy day also. I'm going to speak briefly about this truck. New Latitude is the 2019 Ferrara, a 100-foot stick, now called the War Horse. And it's important that this beautiful, great truck, the showpiece for the Fall River Fire Department, is stationed here at the Candia Station. Because I just talked about tradition and how it's so important to the fire department. Well, this station here is fairly new compared to stations. 1977 it was built. But what you don't know is that there's been a fire station on this site since 1874. That's incredible. It's the only station that's remained on this site from olden times to new times. And now we have the showcase to put in it. Latitude serves the entire South End, and like any other piece of apparatus, it serves the entire city of Fall River. And it's so important that we have all these apparatus replaced now. We have 10 pieces of frontline apparatus. 8 of those have been replaced now. The 9th is now being built in Louisiana. That leaves just one more piece to replace in the coming years. That's Ladder 4, which is still in great shape. That's a reflection on what the city of Fall River is committed to the Fall River Fire Department. Again, the administration, the people behind me here, the citizens of Fall River realize that we take care of the city of Fall River, and they are taking care of us. And that's so important. So without further ado, I'd like to call up the key player in all that's happened these last few years. His Honor, the Mayor of Fall River, a friend of the fire department, Mayor Jazel Correa.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. Come on, that was weak. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, a little better. What a beautiful day to be here at the Candias Fire Station with Ladder 2, my colleagues in government, all of the firefighters that keep us safe on a day-to-day basis, EMS as well, and so many others that were able to join us. This is such a special day. As the Chief alluded to and mentioned, I mean, here we are just 2.5 years later from when we began this process with 8 new trucks, a 9th on the way, and only 1 left to replace. That is something that I don't think has been done in almost any other community in the Commonwealth, and that's a testament to all the different players involved. The building committee, Jay Burns, the chief, Michael Dion from CDA, the council, the state delegation, and every firefighter. Give yourselves another round of applause. That's incredible. And I'll be as brief as possible too, but I want to tell you why we did this, because we didn't necessarily have to do this. You know, many other communities are not doing this. Many other communities are calling the chief and calling CDA and saying, how'd you do this? And it really was all the players and all the stars that came together, and they just aligned perfectly to make this happen. But it took a commitment. It took a choice. It took people to say, yes, we want to do this, and we absolutely wanted to because of the advocation of this fire department. When the chief came to me, when Jay came to me, and when we sat down with Michael, it was a no-brainer. And it's been a no-brainer every single time we've done something for this department, whether it was the washers or dryers, whether it's the new equipment, whether it's the new trucks, whether it's the more manpower. It was yes every single time. Every single time. And we're proud of that. I'm proud of that. That's something that I think is really important. Thank you. And it really started in year one, 2016, when I did the fire ops training. Many of you will recall, right? We were in a controlled fire room. I was in the gear, and I couldn't even, as soon as that match was lit onto that hay, I couldn't even see my hand in front of my own face. And it's just an experience that was surreal. And that was controlled. That wasn't in a house fire with couches that have carcinogens and doors that you can't burn through. I mean, just an incredible experience that really taught me an unbelievable lesson that I will never forget my entire life. To be in that scenario in a controlled setting was scary. Was, to me, you know, I'm not trained like you guys are, but certainly something that I said, wow, this is like really serious stuff. This is no joke. And people do not realize the kind of fires, the kind of situations that these men are running into. Well, everybody's running out, everybody's running the other way. These guys are running into those situations, far worse than the one that I just described. So with that, on top of all the advocation, and we saw the aging equipment, and we heard the stories about people having to buy their own equipment out of pocket, it was a no-brainer. And that's when we put together this wonderful partnership with all the different parties represented today to really make an impact. We didn't want to buy just one truck. We didn't want to make this slow impact. We wanted to do it all at once. We wanted to do a huge package that modernized this fire department, that made it the gold standard of the state of Massachusetts and the country of the United States of America. And that is what we've done under the leadership of Chief Lynch, under the leadership of Jay Burns, under the leadership of this administration, in partnership with our colleagues in government. We have made the Fall River Fire Department what Chief Lynch always says, the greatest department in the universe. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud of that because my job in doing all of this upgrade was to ensure that every single person in this fire department can do their job effectively and safely and can return home to their families. That's what all of this is about for me. For me, it's not just the shiny new truck that instead of white now has a black top and is all beautiful and shiny. For me, it's making sure that this truck doesn't break down on the way to a fire and we get that extra 4 seconds or whatever it may be. For me, it's about making sure that you have the equipment that can be cleaned so that these individuals don't get cancer 10 years after they retire. That's what it's about for me. And that's why we've made this investment, this incredible investment in this fire department to make it the best in the universe. So thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you and your families. Stay safe, keep us safe, and we love you and God bless you. Thank you.
He just reminded me of one important group that I forgot to mention. And I'd like to acknowledge the truck committee that actually built this. They spec'd it out. They researched things. I'd like to start with the captain of Latitude, Captain Dave Jennings. Cap, where are you? Scotty Camara, where are you? Between the two of them, they must have put in 1,000 hours in conjunction with our senior mechanic, who's not here, Paul Jennings. Between those three guys, and also Henry Santos, and the entire roster of Latitude, they got this built, and you can see just what you see before you came out of their heads, their hands, and I think they did a fantastic job. So let's give a big hand of applause. I'm trying to be a little short here, but I'm having a hard time, sorry. I'd like to call up now another good friend of the fire department, Senator Mike Rodrigues.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here on it's become a great tradition in christening new apparatuses, and it's hard to believe that old Latitude is already 20 years old and we have new Latitude, and that's That's amazing. I wish you all the best of luck at that, and I want you to know that we as a delegation, Representative Schmid, Representative Sylvia, Representative Fiola, will continue to work in partnership with Mayor Correa and his team in ensuring that we can help provide whatever it takes for our public safety personnel, our firefighters, whether it's the public safety staffing grants that for over the last 6 years we've delivered over $1 million per year to the city of Fall River, whether it's the grants for the extractors to ensure that the carcinogens are thoroughly cleaned out of your turnout gear, will be there. And it's easy when we have such great leaders like the gentleman beside us that truly partner with us. So thank you all, and good luck, and God bless everyone that works on the machine. Thank you.
Now, if you think I'm long-winded, my next speaker, very eloquent, and normally a little more long-winded than I am, but he always has great things to say. And he's a great supporter of the South End especially. And like I alluded to earlier, Ladder 2 serves the entire city, but especially the South End. So I'd like to bring up now Representative Alan Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. I'm going to keep my comments a little less than 40 minutes, so don't be disturbed at all. I don't know how many times we have done this. A lot of times in the last several months or over a year, right? It seems like every 3 weeks we're putting a new piece of apparatus online. And you know what's really strange here, I want you to think back. Not so long ago, prior to this administration, just prior, we were closing a station down on Globe Street. We had Engine 5 offline. Remember that? Remember the fires where pieces of apparatus would shut down, break down? How many? How many, Mr. Burns? Okay. I remember, I'm not a firefighter, but I remember, because many firefighters came to my office concerned about the King Philip Mill and other situations where a looming crisis existed. As president of the South End Neighborhood Association, we talked about it at every meeting. We had evacuation plans. We were meeting with firefighters and the chief to talk about what we would do if there was a fire, and blocks had to be evacuated. Things have changed, and they changed fast. When the mayor alluded to the fact that other communities are calling, I also happen to be vice chair of the Joint Committee on Public Safety. Other communities, because I spoke to them in the Bella Rica area, Lynn called this city to find out, how are you getting as many new apparatus as you are? How can you be doing that? More pieces of new equipment in the past 2 years than any other fire department in the South Coast. That's incredible. That's incredible. Now, it doesn't happen by accident. Mayor, thank you so much for this, because the lives of people are on the line. You mentioned being in a situation that was controlled. I've been at fires where it wasn't controlled, where people are coming out of windows, as many of you have seen, where police officers are stuck in a house trying to remove people before the apparatus can get there. The response time is so important. That's why this equipment is important. Very important for your lives and the lives of those in our community. We were concerned back then about our insurance rates. Look at this. I hope our insurance rates come down. Right? They should. We have the best that you can possibly ask for in this community. And I'm saddened always when people don't know that. They don't know the integrity and the loyalty and the amount of man hours that's involved, where people actually volunteer their time without pay to make sure this happens. So I'm honored. as a resident of this city, not just a member of the legislature, but I'm honored to be here, and I want to thank all of you for your service. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
You can see now why I like to be the first speaker, because I can never follow that. I mean, the eloquence is just amazing. Now I'd like to start the ceremony. We call this part the christening of the peace, the symbolism of passing the torch. It's where the old Ladder 2 is going to baptize the new Ladder 2 with water. So if I get the apparatus ready, please. Come on out here, man. Come on. And he dressed for the occasion. 6 hours polishing it.
That's what I have. Hey, what's going on?
We're now going to have Fire Chaplain Mike Racine bless the war horse, Ladder 2. So if everybody could come over and put your hand with your towel underneath it now on the piece as it gives the blessing.
Can I get it wet with holy water?
Yes, you may.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, as we gather on this very beautiful day to dedicate this new piece of fire apparatus, Ladder 2, in the words of the Old Testament, we are reminded of so many dedications of altars and temples dedicated to the glory of God. Today we ask your blessings upon this new ladder truck, all its equipment as implements of our trade, as firefighters, and to meet the many emergency needs of this city of Fall River. We come today in gratitude, not only for this new piece of equipment, but for all of our firefighters of our department who every day give their wholehearted devotion to their daily work, to which they are called to serve and protect our citizens each day. Bless them and protect them each day. Amen. Duly blessed.
The last part of this ceremony is putting Ladder 2 in service and taking old Ladder 2 out of service. And I mentioned tradition being an important part of the fire department, and it's very true. Just as we don't forget the men and women who serve the city so well, we also don't forget the trucks that serve the city so well. Shortly, old Ladder 2 will pull away. I will call you to attention, and we will salute it. Salute it for its years of service, for its dedication to the city of Fall River, for the lives that it had saved. Present arms. The last part of this ceremony is putting new Ladder 2 in service. In the old days, the firefighters would help back the horses and the wagons, the fire wagons, in the bay. Here, the current members of Ladder 2, the retired members of Ladder 2, will help ease Ladder 2 into a new home.